do this, baby. All right. Wow. Some amazing energies going on in the collective at the moment. Are you feeling it? Okay, I'm just going to start with a little bit of a check-in of which song would the Divine Feminine like to sing to her Divine Masculine. There's a very, very strong couple coming through. And it's like they just want to open their throat chakra and just go bleh, but not like angry with each other, like, I get it now. And the feminine's going, yes, you get it now. It's fucking terrifying, isn't it? And he's going, yes, but oh my God, everything makes sense now. So that's what the energy is saying. And let's give them something to talk about. How can we be lovers if we can't be friends? And you're gorgeous. All right, I'm not sure who's singing what, but I'd say that would probably be their duet. Let's give them something to talk about. Because the thing is, both the Divine Feminine and Divine Masculine have done a lot of listening on lots of different levels. And because of that, it's been really hard to kind of go, what's going on, you know? And as the time has gone on, the love has always been there and it's still there, but there's a really weird disconnection happened even on the 5D at the moment between this Divine Masculine and Divine Feminine. It's like there's an understanding between them that is fresh and new and says, I don't need to cling to you now. I love you, I want to be with you, that's undeniable, but I don't have to hold on to you. Like they've been like, if this was like a knife edge, they've been like hanging on to each other and sort of jogging on this knife edge and then kind of trying to heal from all the pain, going, what's causing all this pain, you know? And it's just been a bit crazy. So that's what's been going on. And then it's like, you know, so how can we be lovers if we can't be friends? You know, if we're being kept separate by this kind of knife edge that we're jogging on, how can we be lovers? How can we be friends? Where's the proof, you know? And yeah, you're just gorgeous. That's what they're both saying to each other. So let's just start with these. Now, this particular Divine Feminine wants to say to her masculine from the bottom of her heart, as this is a very, very specific message, so you have to put it into your situation. She wants to say, this is the ultimate love, and she's saying, thank you for the sunflowers. And she's handing him a big bunch of sunflowers right now. And she's saying, you have no idea what those sunflowers meant to me. They meant the world to me. And he knows what that was. And so it's like, you know, it was just a small gesture, but wow, it really, really helped her to just know what who he was, what he was about, and just what this love is about. And it just really showed her the sort of generous spirit that he has. Because I always say a sunflower is like, it's a generous flower. It throws seeds. And then the seeds, we see what takes and what doesn't. So if you look at a sunflower, it moves, and it moves towards the sun. It looks towards the sun. And that's what he's been doing. He's been looking towards the sun. And then his feminine has sort of been in the shadows behind him. And he's been kind of going, where are you? Why aren't you following me? And she's going, because you need to turn around and look at this. And so that's what's happened. And it's not an easy situation, and this feminine is well aware of it. So they're on a sacred pause at the moment. So I'm going to use the Sacred Traveller cards, and I'm going to use the Sacred Rebels cards by Alana Fairchild. Let's see what the sacred pause is about on this travelling that they're doing at the moment. So what's this sacred pause about? What's this sacred pause about, please, with this Divine Feminine, Divine Masculine? What is this sacred pause about, please? There we go. Vast vistas, expand your horizons. Okay. Wow, yes, there's been a huge expansion, hasn't there? They're climbing out the box that they were in. So they were in this box and they thought the box was all there was. And then they've kind of gone, oh, I get it now. And they're sort of climbing out the box and seeing that there's a much bigger picture that they couldn't see because they were in the box. So they're sort of outside of the box. So you know that expression, think outside of the box? Well, that's what these two do. That's what this divine feminine, divine masculine does. And it's kind of been like, we haven't really known who's in the box and who's out of the box. But the divine feminine has always been an outside of the box thinker, and she's pretty sure her divine masculine is an outside of the box thinker as well. Or if he is, it's maybe taken till now for him to have the courage to be an outside of the box thinker. Which is you know, that's a challenge, because the box is familiar, right? And it's but it's quite dark in the box. So the feminine is climbing out of this dark place. The masculine is seeing the lid open on this box and going, oh my God, this is what's been going on. So, you know, this is a truly incredible moment. We've just got to, you know, pause, take a breath. You can see the cliff there. It's like standing on a cliff and just looking out and seeing the beauty instead of seeing the danger of the big drop. So it's sort of lift your head up. She's saying, lift your head up. Don't look down, okay? Don't look down. Just look forward, look up. You know, look at the beauty around you, at what's being created here, because it's truly wonderful. So that's what this sacred pause is about. Now, I want to pick one of the sacred rebel cards for this masculine. I think it's going to be this one. Power of attraction. There you go. You can't make this stuff up, can you? Honestly. So obviously this looks like a reunion, doesn't it? But you can also see there's these little, now look at that. This is like a beehive. You see the, I can't think what you call that, like the honey, what do you call that? The comb, right? You see how there's like that honeycomb. That's been built, you know, between them. And that contributes to them bonding. You know, you can see that how bonded they are. You can see how that's a real reunion energy, because it's very much aligned and it's very much in balance. You've got the masculine and the feminine, and they're even. They're in a place of looking each other straight in the eye, and look at all the light coming in, and they're going, ah, there you are. You know, I couldn't see you. I couldn't see you. I could feel you, but I couldn't see you. And yeah, and so it's really truly incredible the you know, the power of what they've that they've attracted each other, because there's a sort of like opposites attract, but also like attracts like that goes on between them. And so it's kind of like this has almost been what's caused this split, is that, you know, on one level opposites attract, and on another level like attracts like. And it's almost like it's been on one level, one of them is in opposite mode and one of them is in like attract likes mode, and on the other level one of them's in opposite mode and one of them's in like attracts like level, like mode. And it's almost like I see this is like the world, and I see them as, with the hands there, I see them as holding hands, and it's like the feminine has sort of walked around the world this way and come to her masculine, and the masculine's been walking around the world this way and come to his feminine, and it's like they're at this point, there's this light, and they're just like, are we ready to hold hands yet, you know? So there's an understanding of, now I see why you were fighting me, you know, now I see what you were trying to tell me, and now and the feminine's saying, I could have told you if you'd let me speak to you, and he's going, I get it now, you were trying to speak to me and you would have told me what I've worked out. And so it's been quite a journey, because, you know, it's safety first, you know, and the feminine understands that it's safety first, and the masculine understands that it's safety first, and that protection is so important. So along this journey, they've been protected. The angels have been protecting them, and protecting them individually and protecting them together, which, you know, the feminine is like, wow, because if it wasn't for you, I basically wouldn't be here, and I know that. And this feminine knows that there's been many who've fallen along the way, and I'm not talking about falling in love, because the love is what got her through, there's no doubt about it. And I'm talking for this feminine. For me, the feminine's got a lot to say. The masculine he's kind of stunned at the moment, and he's saying, did you love me at all, or were you playing a game with me? And she's saying, absolutely, I love you. That is not in question. But I think now you can see why I found it so hard to express my love for you, because there was so much more in this picture that you couldn't, that I thought you couldn't see, Or maybe you could see, I wasn't sure. And she's like, I want to see what you can see, because I'm still here. You're on the cliff looking out, seeing a whole new perspective. But I'm still kind of just climbing out this box going, God, it's so good to get out this box. But, you know, what has actually been created here? Because, yeah, I'm looking forward to, you know, to seeing it. And there's that kind of slightly Piper of Hamelin look with the sort of feather on your cap kind of thing, and sort of walking forward. So, and I think also what's interesting here is that this feminine, if she's the one coming out of the box at the moment. I mean, the masculine could be coming out of the box, I'm not sure. They haven't been in the box together. One's been outside, one's been inside, okay? And but you can see the protection there. You can see that she's been camouflaged, and if he's been in the box, he's been camouflaged. So that camouflage has also been part of the protection. And one of the things that this feminine says I'm really sorry for is that I saw you, and I didn't realize, I didn't respect that you were camouflaged. And the masculine is now saying the same thing back to her. I saw you, but I didn't realize that you were camouflaged. So, you know, it makes me think of these kind of, you know, the camouflage in army outfits. But the thing about that is, you know, I always think, you know, okay if you're in a forest, but really when you're walking through the town, you couldn't be more obvious. So, yeah, gosh, so what an amazing place to be. So I want to come back to... there's a couple of things I want to do today. So the divine usually tells me what to do in these readings, and this one is to be the divine masculine, divine feminine's love for each other. Okay, their career situation and the money situation and their career situation, because what's happened is those waters have got a bit muddy. Okay, and what the feminine wants her masculine to know is that still for her, the top number one priority, if it's possible, is their reunion, is their relationship. That is the most important thing to her. But what she doesn't know is, one of the things that she's learned on this journey is that money, it's really interesting. She says, I've got this expression, money brings out people's true colours. So in other words, you know, when love's on the table, that brings out people's true colours as well. But when money's on the table, you see people's true colours as well. And, you know, it's kind of like all of this can make a career, right? If you balance things right. But you don't want to taint your relationship in any way, because that is the most sacred, the most precious thing that you've ever experienced in your life. And you're not going to be, you know, throwing it away. It's sacred. It's very, very valuable to you. And it's the most important thing. And that's how the feminine sees it. And she hopes that's how the masculine sees it too. But because the waters have been so muddy, and because there's been this, it's almost like there's this, how I experience it is there's like this battle at the moment. It's like it's like the masculine is off to war. You know, he's off to fight. And, you know, he might be running scared, or he might have, you know, armies of people helping him. But it's kind of like the feminine, she feels like she's in that position where, you know, like in the olden days, you know, men went off to fight, and then the women stayed at home and, you know, waited. That's how she feels. That's how she feels. And it's kind of like, because she's so tuned into him, she hasn't been able to function kind of beyond that. So you can look at her and say, oh, she's just doing nothing. She's so lazy. She's just hanging around. She's just waiting. But it's very much like what used to happen in the olden days when, you know, men went to war, women stayed at home, and they literally waited, and they waited on this kind of knife edge. You know, are you coming home to me? You know. So and of course it still goes on today. But so that's kind of how at the moment. That's her perception, but at the same time, they can just be digital army. It can be a digital army, you know what I mean? Which is very, very safe. So yeah, it's very, as this feminine sort of clambers out this box, she was in this place of waiting and saying, are you going to come and open this box and pull me out of here? Are you going to rescue me, or am I going to have to rescue myself? And time was just going on and on and on and on. And she was like, right, okay, we can't continue like this because the clock's ticking. I'm coming out. And so she's come out and he's gone, oh my God, I see now. And he's suddenly seen all of the full picture. So truly incredible. And it's kind of like, you know, it's almost like he's got his story and she's got her story. And you know, one day they'll share them, kind of thing, on this when they finally come into reunion. So let's just create these piles. I want to look at this one I'm going to do this one and this one for their relationship. I'm going to do this one and this one for their career, and I'm going to do, let's see, I'll do this one for their money. All right. This is what I'm most interested in. But okay, let's start here. No, where'll I start? I don't even know. See, that's it. I don't know where to start. And that's how they feel. They both feel that. Like, where do we even start? How do we even begin? What do we do? So we're going to start with love. All right, let's just see. So I'm going to look for the feminine first of all. What does this feminine want her masculine to know about their love? Stay optimistic about your love life. Positive thinking and faith will bring you romance. Isn't that beautiful? So her message to him is, don't give up, okay? Don't give up on us. It's really down to you, okay? I don't have to do very much, but you do. And I appreciate that. And I see, when I was in the box, I could see the situation from inside the box. I can't see from outside what's been going on. So I'm not sure exactly how this fits in things. So the masculine is saying back to her, what does he want to say to her? Whoa, he wants to say, flirt. Extend your light-hearted energy to others. Isn't that gorgeous? So yeah, he's saying we need some more fun. You know, we need more fun. We need to go back to that place where we had fun. It's like going full circle. They've come back to where they had fun, and that fun is, honestly, you've got to understand something here. If you're thinking, oh, you know, was I duped? Was I this? No, you helped me survive. You now know what I went through, and you were my guiding light. You were my star. And yeah, seek clarity on mixed signals. Yes, exactly. And this is where we are. This is the pause that we're in now, because what I'm trying to say to this masculine is, please don't doubt the love that this feminine has for you, okay? Just understand that there's been a problem with the signaling. There's been a problem with the communication, okay? Not with the love, all right? So not with the love. She feels like this masculine has just said, I'm out here, right? And she can feel, it's almost like, yeah, like I said, it's like instead of them trying to hold hands with a knife edge between them, it's like they've let go, but it's a kind of healthy let go. That's the only way I can describe it. It's like it's not a give up, it's a let go, which is very different. It's a trusting, it's a letting go. And they are in a slight limbo state at the moment, while certain things are being sorted behind the scenes. So let's just have a look. Let's see what this one says here. Thinking. You may be on someone's mind. Yeah. So yes, even though there's that, it's interesting, there's this let go energy, as in there's not the kind of there was almost like a desperation between both of them, like they were almost like fighting and dancing at the same time. It was like boxercise but with ballet shoes on. And it's kind of like now there's like a respect, like a whoa, I didn't see that. And see, there's the dove of peace there as well. See the dove. So yeah, so there's a lot of pausing, reflecting, changing of plans even, perhaps, which is very challenging because it's been, there's been some beautiful things laid out. And it doesn't mean to say that nothing's going to happen with them, whatever that is. It means that it might be that the timing has to change, and that's all that has to change. So, it's not like throw the baby out with the bathwater. Do you know what I mean? It's not like that. See, be united for a good relationship. So teamwork. Yeah, teamwork makes the dream work. And look at that. That's quite interesting because she's got this shield and she's got these wings and she's got this sword of fire. Look at that, And it's kind of like, this is how the feminine has felt the teamwork is. It's like she's been fighting inside this box, trying to keep her angel wings. See how the angels are protecting her, the angel wings protecting her. But she has had to be very masculine. She hasn't, it's like whenever he's like, you need to glow up, you need to, for us to come to union, you've got to, start caring more about what you like. She's like, excuse me, right now, you have no idea the battle I'm fighting. Now, it could be it's all inside. It could be that it was just all an internal, like, mindset battle. It could be, she doesn't know. But she's like, I was willing to take the risk that I might be wrong, because if I was right, then this needed attention. And so that's what she's saying. And the longer she waited in the box and the longer she fought, the more she saw the truth. And this is like the truth. This is like the sword of truth, but it's like a wand. It's like a fiery wand. She's got this shield. She's got this wand. She's got these wings. She's got the rainbow. She's got the stars. She's got so much support. So this is teamwork, and be united for a good relationship. So this again says, what an amazing team we are. With all the divine masculines, the divine feminines, what amazing team they are. Because this is what they all are like individually. Because it's almost like they have to be able to, fight their own battles and love fiercely with their heart. They're fighting for love, if you like, or they don't love to fight. They fight to love. That's the difference. And it's almost like they are whole, so that whatever comes their way, they can deal with it. And this is what they've both been going through. So this masculine is faced with what he's faced with, and the team, can help him. The team that have formed can help him with what's been revealed. So, yeah, because he doesn't realize just how amazing he is what the feminine is saying to him. So let's have a little look at, I didn't even ask a thing. Heal, revitalize your heart. So I'm hoping that this message is going to heal any hurt, any doubts, any feelings of, what's real and what's not. Because this feminine is saying our love is real, and don't doubt it. Because as I've been going through this and seeing things from a different perspective to you, I've had to do a lot of healing, but it's been incredibly painful to go through that healing and to sort of be able to see some of the causes as well. But it was a very necessary process, and I think this masculine has been going through this too. But they come out with this kind of sword of fire, this clarity that I think was needed. It's almost like the feminine says, I couldn't do anything except heal, because I needed clarity before taking any action. And I could see you giving me wonderful opportunities, but I had to hold, I was holding space for you, but I was shining a light on what I was seeing, what I had found. And so so for her, it's been a healing journey and a hugely challenging journey. So she feels a bit of a combination of, this girl here and this girl here. And so yeah. So with regards to her masculine, that's how she's seeing. I mean, he might have something different to say to her, but that's how she's seeing what is currently going on. But that's from a relationship point of view, that's what this feminine wants her masculine to know. She's not saying this is the truth. She's saying, is this the truth? Am I in the ballpark? Are you seeing what I'm seeing? And he's saying, just give me your light-hearted energy because I love it. And she's like, no problem, as long as you can, I didn't do all this in vain. There wasn't no reason to do this. And I've got that expression, the hunted is now the hunter is the hunted. That way round. Yeah. And that could never, ever have happened without this. Okay? Never. Yeah. So lots and lots more to share one day, and there's this is they've got to the guts of what's been going on, I think, but yeah, there is more that she's not sharing completely in the current sort of communication situation. So here we have a Great Balls of Fire. Like in Top Gun, Great Balls of Fire. I need to look that one up when they play around the piano. Was it you da 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 and you rattle my brain? Man and play. Yeah, I mean, I'll need to look it up, but that's what that makes me think of. And this feminine has, through working on this kind of 5D with her masculine, their love has blossomed, and she doesn't want their love to be burnt up into nothing, not in real life, okay? And the thing is, what's made it so hard for her, apart from the fact they can't communicate, is that there's been so much value in what's been created, okay? There's been so much creativity, so much imagination, so much beauty, and she's like, don't throw that away. That's wonderful. That can all be harnessed, And this is what she's doing, and this is what she does, you see. She burns up what's not needed, and then allows things to grow that are, are very much of value and needed. And her kind of superpower is to turn situations around from... it's like from a negative to a positive. And she thinks that's what she's done, okay? But it's almost like there's been this the two of them, the masculine and the feminine, have been in this tug of war, right? And he's been saying, come this way, and she's been going, no, come this way. And it's kind of like she's taken all of that and she's created this kind of focus, which has only happened because of their love, and it's only happened because of what he has done in response to what she was experiencing. And so he has nothing to be ashamed of, nothing to be sorry about, and he's grown a lot through the experience. So what was this? This was the career pile, wasn't it? So yeah, so there could be a career in there, right? There could be a way of taking all of that. But she's very clear that their love is their love. It's between them. It's sacred between them. It's not a comedy show. It's not a reality show. It's not a, it's not a humiliation show. It's not that. It's incredibly pure, and it's the ultimate love, and it can be channeled, and wonderful things can happen through it. Okay, so, and possibly career changes can happen for either, because they're both healers as well, even if he doesn't know, because they're divine mirrors. They're both going to be have healing ability. And this particular feminine, she says, I'm using my healing ability in a completely different context now, and I love that. And and so, although I haven't been able to do my healing in the way I normally do, you've given me a fresh way of using that energy and that insight and that wisdom and knowledge. And I'm really grateful to you for that. So in this area, when I say career, let's call it life direction. So it's kind of the same thing. We'll keep the money we'll look at here, because this is where the waters have become muddied, and this is what this feminine is wanting to get some clarity around. So let's have a look at the career for, whoops, I didn't even get to ask who it was. Yes, this is what I'm talking about. It's an adventure, right? But you can see that for this feminine, it's like she's like an innocent child, you know, but she's walking towards the rainbow. So there's the rainbow that's been coming down and nourishing and feeding her, and she's walking towards the rainbow, towards the hope, you know. And so this masculine is kind of shocked, because he always is trying to protect her, because she's like this child just kind of toddling off into, you know, situations. He's like, oh God, no, you can't do that. You've got to come here and you've got to go there. And so that's kind of what's been going on. So let's call that one the one for the feminine. Now let's look for the masculine for his, so career-wise, what's happened for the masculine is, oh, we've got two, okay. Yeah, there we go. So you can see here he's a healer. You can see here that he's been kind of exposed. You know, he's and his face doesn't look too happy. But his heart is protected. But you can see that when you protect a heart, it radiates right out. So he really has become a master at this. See what's happened. You see, he's learnt what this is, but he's the protector of what's special that these two have got. So you can see that, yeah, look at that. I mean, isn't that amazing? So that's the feminine's point of view of the same situation, and that's his. And he's like, whoa, I didn't know this energy existed. I never knew this whole world was here. You know, you can see there he's got his sort of battle clothes on, but he's like, whoa, this is really precious. You know, this is it. This is the answer. This is what I've been looking for. You know, this is what everybody's looking for, you know, but we just didn't know it, and it's inside us. It's a bit like the Wizard of Oz, where everything they're looking for, you know, they take this journey and then everything they're looking for is inside them. So so yeah, that's, you can see there the masculine and the feminine, the different perspectives of the same thing. So, and look at the hands. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? So let's compare this masculine with this feminine's card here. So she looks like she's walking towards the energy, and it's all coming from him. So yeah, you can see that there might be some kind of, it doesn't look like he can control what's happening, because also, this is really interesting, look how that clothing is like that clothing. It's like, I'm trying to contain this thing, I'm trying to put it into words, I'm trying not to let it be too crazy, and it's just going, you know, it's just kind of, and then she's going, what is this explosion that's just happened? And she's sort of toddling along like an innocent child, and is like, oh my God. So you can see that kind of, you know, dynamic that's going on. That's amazing. Let's just get one of these cards for the masculine, because we only got the adventure one. So let's see what the masculine's career-wise. Oh, that's masculine. Oops, masculine career-wise. New vision. There you go. Look at that. Look at that. So, I mean, that is the warrior stance in yoga. So look how he's picked himself up. Look, he's been crawling along on the ground. See that? And now he's like, right, he's got ready to sling his whatever fireball that he's learned all about on this journey. So, oh, I've got cramp in my leg. I've got cramp in my leg, and I've just had to put my leg in that position to release the cramp. Oh my God. So yeah, he was kind of like crawling along, going, what is going on? He's looking at the ground. And what's happened is he suddenly stood up, and he's looking up at the skies, and he's looking at the stars, he's seeing the possibilities, he's come out with this box, seeing the box in the background, and he's going, whoa, this is massive. So the power he has is becoming evident to him. and it hasn't been evident to him before he was sort of crawling along, or that was his camouflage, and he knew this power was here. You know, this feminine doesn't know which way around it is, all right? But he's got a new vision, right? He's seeing things from a completely different perspective. And hopefully, that with this teamwork that he put in place on this twin flame journey, he can be supported in his vision. And he's not on his own, because that's too much for one person, you know. But I don't think he is. Because he's much better at teamwork than the feminine's been. So, yeah. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. So, let's have a look from money point of view, because this is what I'm saying about, this is what brings out true colours. And, yeah. Because he's been saying to the feminine, you've got to sort your money out. And she's like, you've got to talk to me. And he's going, you've got to sort your money out. And she's going, you've got to have a conversation with me. And she's like, okay, if you're not going to have a conversation with me, I'm going to have to show you what I'm trying to tell you. So let's see, from the feminine's point of view, what's happening money-wise? From the feminine's point of view, what's happening money-wise? Whoa, she's moving on. She's got a horse on a boat. Look at that. She's got a horse on a boat. Yeah, she's... Now that's interesting, because what I'm seeing here is it's like carrying the horse from one land to another type of thing. But it's a very slow boat. There's no motor on it. You know, there's no, you know, it's just, you know, sort of dug out log kind of thing. And she's got a horse on it with her. So that means that when she comes to land, she's got a way of being able to, you know, move on if she, you know, she can ride the horse sort of thing. But that's where she's at. Let's just see. Oh, okay. Let's see if it's this one for the masculine. 4 of Pentacles. Interesting. Right. So he's in that more solid place, isn't he? I mean, the 4s are always kind of that kind of sturdier energy, which is great because, you know, you can't be too. What's the word? Dismiss. You've got to. He's got respect for the money, right? He's got a respect for it. He sees its value, and it's kind of like, yeah. So this feminine, a difficult time is passing, and troubles are being left behind, right? There's a much needed break from troubles and time alone or with close family or friends to sort things and make plans for future goals. All right, so that's where the feminine is, and the masculine with this 4 of Pentacles. I'm just gonna. This book is. It's quite an interesting one because it doesn't even like that. I think that's Swords, a Thames. I haven't heard of that. So, yeah. So let's just have a quick look at the 4 of Pentacles. Yeah, security concerns. This is a card of security. A person is focused on security of home and finances, saving money, yet also having money to spend. A cautious approach to friendship and socialising, not antisocial, but just careful and perhaps a little suspicious of the motives of others. Access to the home is restricted until the person is more familiar with would-be guests. Such a person does not appreciate uninvited or unexpected visitors to the home, nor a presumption of personal familiarity. Reserved, careful and self-contained. The person is possibly living in comfortable circumstances but has concerns about being taken advantage of and losing what has been gained. Financial security is of paramount importance, and this state is well entrenched. Now he's very grounded. What is earned is kept in reserve, perhaps building up a savings account or being directed into a fund. This is the part of a private person, one who may be influential but also selective of associates. They may be a financial blockage or simply an unwillingness to spend money. And this is a thrifty person, so gift giving is likely limited by price. Yeah, so it's kind of like withdrawing into his shell, and that makes sense. You know, because he is, yeah, see, there's the door closed there, and he's kind of holding on to the security that he has, and she understands that, and she's moving on. See, she's moving on. She's got her horse, she's in her boat, and she's moving on. So he's much less throw caution to the wind, and she's much more let's go on an adventure, right? And he's kind of like, see that protective energy. You see that protective energy. So he's the protector, provider, and she is like, life's too short, you know. She's like, you know, I'm not I'm not scared of what you're scared of, but I just want to be sure that that everything I did wasn't in vain. That's what she's saying, and she gets that, you know, teamwork is really key. That you know, battons have to be passed on. You know, they're not always held on by the same person all the time. The other thing that she does want to mention, actually, this particular feminine, is she says, I set up something. I started to set something up to try and show you the situation that I was in, because you wouldn't let me do anything else. I have to demonstrate to you. But what you think is that the shop front is the finished product or the start of a product. You don't realize that that is a shop front, and what actually goes underneath that is to be discussed. And so this so she does know about security. She does know about protection. She just deals with it differently. And he's taught her, you know, he's really taught her that kind of sort of like Seven of Swords, but the positive that's within the Seven of Swords energy. And you know, because the old her wouldn't have done it that way, but the new her, who has gone through this journey, who's been on this journey, she's got her horse with her, and she's been on this journey, and you can see that horse, that is not where you put horse. You don't put horses on boats. You know what I mean? They're land animals. They're not sea animals, and they're not boat animals. And so she feels like she's been on a raft for a long time in a stormy sea with her horse to hold on to, and that's what it's been like. So when she created something on this land, and it's only like seedlings at the moment, and it can all be changed. She's done it to say, right, here's a potential future. This is a potential, but it's also a shop front for something else. So that's one of the things that she's trying to say to her masculine as well. Because he's seeing the shop front and going, oh my God, you know, now we've got to do this and this and this and this and this. And she's like, no, you don't understand. This is just the shop front, right? And so there's been a lot of research that's gone in to get to this point. And so, yeah, so she thinks her masculine might understand what that means because, of their situation. So that was kind of something that she did want to get across to him. Before, because the thing is, one of the things she's a wee bit nervous about is the boat coming into land, and you know, she's still on her own. She doesn't want that. She wants the, you see, it says teamwork, but there's no team there, right? So although it's be united for a good relationship. So this is the connection, sort of, you know, right round the world type of a thing. So yeah, so let's have a look at the divine doors, because we had the door come up here, and we've got this protective energy here, and you know, protection is all part of this, particularly when it comes to money. So let's just turn this around like this and give these a wee shuffle. So let's see, for the feminine, so the masculine to the feminine, let's see what state the door is in between them. The masculine to the feminine, give me a door for what's going on between this masculine and feminine. What's the door like between this masculine and feminine? Please, Spirit, what's the door between this masculine and feminine like? He doesn't want to give her a door. Oh, yeah, okay. So, yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? It's like there's no door. The door's open, but it's closed. Bless this space. Your sacred space holds the soul to bear. Palo, Centaur, or Sage will clear the air. Right, yes, so your sacred space. So this is what... So yeah, bless this space. So this space in our love is sacred. And I'm kind of giving this reading within this sacred space, okay? Because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to say the twins' reunion is sacred, and they're in a sacred pause just now. And so what I'm doing here is I'm just filling that space with some information which can help to you know, grow and heal while in this sacred pause. Okay, so so that's between the masculine and feminine. Now let's see from the feminine to the masculine. Let's see what door do we have from the feminine to the masculine, from the divine feminine to the divine masculine. What door do we have here? From the feminine to the masculine. What door do we have here? What door do we have here from the feminine to the masculine? Okay. Okay. Taking the beauty of country lands and botany, explore the wonder like a gypsy traveller's odyssey. Yeah, there you go. See, so that door's shut. And it's a beautiful door though, you know, and it looks like you just have to pull that handle down and you walk in. So, but it's closed, you know, it's closed. Whereas his is open, you see, but it's open, but it's closed. It's like, okay, I get you now. I trust you, but you're not coming in. And you can see here, you're not coming in. You see that? And this one here is saying, it's not saying, sod you, piss off. I'm just gonna, you know, it's saying, well, my door's closed as well. But there's this beautiful springtime blossom there above the door. I wonder if it's that way around. No, it's not. It's that way around. And I love that combination, that, you know, blue and pink combination. And I think that's a really pretty door, actually. I really like that door. I think that's a nicer door than that one, actually. But it's very feminine as well. So she's also saying, this is what's happening in the sacred pause for this feminine, is I'm finding my divine feminine. I'm reclaiming my feminine, because I've had such an imbalance in the masculine that now I'm reclaiming my feminine energy. And that is a more receptive energy. It's not a battle energy. It's not a, you know, it's so although the masculine is in a protective masculine energy, the feminine is in a, yeah, I'm open to see what comes, you know, but and you're welcome, and there's that fresh spring-like fresh start. I'd say that's a fresh start energy, and it's saying the door's closed. You know, I'm not going around with it wide open so everyone can just help themselves however they want. But it's friendly, you know, and it's fresh. I think that's what I see there. I see freshness, I see lightness, I see joy, I see, it's like the fools come full circle type of thing, you know. It's like, but there's this like maturity there with the flowers. There's kind of like, I've grown through the journey and now the door's closed, it's not open. So he's kind of like, thank goodness she's worked that out, kind of thing. So let's see, what effect does all of this information have between these twins? So let's see, divine masculine. Aha, there you go, the world. Look at that world, the world with wings. Look at that. He's really seeing how amazing he is. So let's see. So that's the divine masculines. Let's see what the feminines. Oh my God! Look at that. Oh my goodness me! Right. Okay. So the feminine. Sorry. Sometimes it just blows my mind. Look, they both get their hands on their head. Look. And yeah, this feminine is kind of going, look, and of course I think we're still in full moon in Aries. Look at that pink moon, you know, it's amazing. So like the world of, so the masculine is looking at the world and the feminine is looking at the moon, and he's sort of like, I mean, talk about mind blown. Look at that. Look, his eyes are like, she's like, look, look what I found. Look, look at the bigger picture. And he's had no choice. And look, he's not even got any arms. There's no arms there. They're just wings, you know, just wings. So yeah, it's been quite the journey, I think. But a major sort of junction point that they've come to. And yeah, these figures here are kind of looking away from the moon, and the feminine is looking at this great big fiery Aries. You have to look up what the full moon in Aries is really about. Like, really look at that, because you've got to understand something here. The feminine's saying this this isn't, what you've realized isn't new to me. I'm just so glad you see it now. Okay. And it's huge, you know, you can't ignore it. It's absolutely massive. But look how beautiful it is, you know, look how beautiful it is. And the masculine is here, and he's looking straight at the world, you know. So he's kind of more in the daytime and she's more kind of in the nighttime. So I think this is what's, you know, this time of sort of closing doors. I mean, because it's very much like the energy between them has really shifted to a place of seeing. Like, she's basically put that world right in front of his eyes and said, look, if you're not going to let me have a conversation with you, then damn well look. And she's just kind of standing there in awe going, oh my God, look how beautiful that moon is, right? And there, look at those figures here. They're also looking away. You know, it's like different levels, you know. Some people on one level are just looking away, they're not seeing it. And on another level, they're seeing it, you know. So I think that's a real revelation, what's happened. That's the energy, there's an energy of revelation. But what the plans are for this feminine that have been put in place without her knowing is just anybody's guess, really, because she kind of doesn't know, and she doesn't know whether what she's revealed has made things worse or better, right? But I've got this feeling both have something massive. Like, look, both have brought something huge to the table. So they're a real power couple, you know. They are a real power couple. Whew. And I don't look into what the karmics are doing or saying or whatever, because I just see the sacredness of the bond between the divine feminine and divine masculine, and the rest to me is like it's like the clouds. It's like the clouds, okay? Because truth will pierce through clouds,